Welcome to Listen by Gene Ginsberg. This audio experience and podcast is all about social media, digital marketing, entrepreneurship, and interviews with top entrepreneurs in the digital and social space. I'm your host, Gene Ginsberg, digital marketing expert, #1 best-selling author, and award-winning entrepreneur. I will be sharing with you strategies, tips, and tactics on how to grow your business and your social media following. Thanks for listening. Hey, Gene Ginsberg here. Super excited that you decided to join me on this podcast episode. And in this episode, I want to talk a little bit about team. A lot of times, entrepreneurs don't, a lot of times they're just solopreneurs and they don't have a team. But I would encourage you to think about what it's like to have, or what it's like to, if you would have a team. And so I can share a little bit of a story. So just yesterday, I hired a personal assistant to help me with the day-to-day things of I wouldn't even say my business, more just like my personal things like email, scheduling, confirmation of scheduling, doing some social media. I already have a team of 10 people who do most of the stuff for me, but it was more like the personal things that I needed, like travel arrangements that I needed someone to help me with. And I started thinking about my experience, or my building of the team that I've had. Now, I've had my business for 7 years. And 3 years ago, I said, you know what? Take it back. About 5 years ago, I started off thinking, hey, I need someone to help me. So I actually went to the local colleges where I live in Denver and hired a couple of interns. And one of the interns actually stayed with me for several years. But that was my first foray into hiring people. Because I realized that in order to scale, in order to move forward, in order to gain more clients, in order to not be just tied down doing the day-to-day stuff in my business, and in order for me to be happy, actually, I decided, hey, I would like to find people who can help me with all of these projects while I can focus on the big picture, finding new clients, being the face of the company, business development, speaking engagements, strategy, new projects, new businesses. And that's really what I've been focusing over the last several years, and really taking all of the day-to-day things that I've been doing and delegating them to my team. But I had to build out a team before I could really delegate. So I started off with the 2 interns, and then I hired a virtual assistant about 3 years ago. And that really, I feel like, really changed my business, I have to say. Like, the virtual assistant took a lot of administrative tasks off my plate, a lot of repetitive tasks off my plate, and that has been just an amazing experience. Now, over time, I've also added a bunch of other people to my team. So I added a couple of copywriters. One does sales copy, one does blog copy. I have an editor, so the editor reviews blogs and books and anything written, sales copy, things like that. So just for punctuation and proofing and things like that. So I've also hired a graphic designer. I have a virtual assistant. I have a video and audio editor, because I have podcasts and videos that I create. My clients have podcasts and videos. That became a critical point in creating a team for myself. I also have a developer, so someone who manages my website and my clients' websites to make sure that everything's up and running. He creates landing pages for me. So a lot of day-to-day things that I was doing before, I started delegating to my team. This podcast is brought to you by the Digital Marketing Method monthly group coaching program, your methodology for growing your business and your social media following. Join me and my group of supportive entrepreneurs and learn how you can grow your business and your social media following, where we cover topics such as Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, email marketing, and so much more. Go to dmgroup.online, dmgroup.online. And one of the things that I, just as a tool, I can share a little bit is I use Trello with me and my team. So all project management goes through the team, through Trello to my team, and everything is spelled out there. Everything is added there. We also have a standard operating procedure that we have in Trello, and that's also been a critical point in growing my team, because before I had a standard operating procedure, I couldn't really train people or train very effectively. And I'm also seeing that to be the case a lot of times when it comes to entrepreneurs running businesses, that they don't have a standard operating procedure, which means that it's very difficult to train someone. You have to take time out of your schedule to train someone. Instead of, if you have a standard operating procedure, then everything is spelled out, written out. There's videos, it's all instructional for the new person to take over, especially, if your team is growing, people leave, then you hire a new person. That person doesn't, has all of the information they need in order to start the new position. So just as a side note, I use Trello for project management and standard operating procedure. I also have a project manager who oversees my team and manages all of the items. So like things like podcasts and videos and social media. So like she basically takes all of the finished products and then puts them, uploads them to social media, or uploads them to the podcast, SoundCloud. We use SoundCloud for our podcast and our clients' podcast. So then she basically just, takes finished products and completes them, I would say, is what the project manager does. So over time, I've been able to grow my team. And more recently, like I said yesterday, I hired a personal assistant to help me with my day-to-day, emailing, scheduling, things like that. But the idea here, just thinking about the big picture, is not just like, let's delegate because I don't really feel like doing stuff. The idea here, like I said earlier, is it's more about what you want to do and how you want your day to look, and also where do you see yourself, and also what are the things that you want to be working on a daily basis. So for me, I decided that I don't want to be doing the day-to-day stuff. I want to be doing more strategic projects, creating more businesses. I want to be doing sales and business development. I want to be speaking. I want to be creating content and courses and things like that. So this is what I decided that I wanted to do. Like, this is how I wanted my day to look. Like, I didn't want to be just sitting behind a computer and, just creating campaigns. Like, I want to be doing this, creating podcast episodes. So that was a critical point for me to really understand, what is it that I want to do? Where do I see myself? Where do I see my business going, and how can I make this happen? So think about that for your business. And I would say, think about what you want to do first. So if you want to be doing campaigns, that's great. I mean, there's no, that's perfectly fine if this is what you're happy with. And some people are really happy being developers and just writing code. That's perfectly fine too. But think about, if you want to be a business owner, do you want to just be working on the campaigns, the day-to-day things, or do you want to scale your business and be more the leadership in the business? So think about that, and based on that, you can figure out then what kind of team you need. So thanks so much for listening, and look forward to seeing you in the next episode.